So the biggest problem in the world is trust. I just saw a note posted online from a guy who's building a wellness center, and he had some problems with another person, and his expression was, is the world just not insane? Is it nuts? Like, is everyone just fucked up? And he's done a really good job building his wellness center. He posts pictures online and stuff. And I've hosted around 3,000 people in my place, and it's been mostly fine. But I don't host people anymore. And I'm lonely. And this one woman I was talking with online, I mentioned to her that there was this event occurring near me that I was going to host a couple people going to that, and I still might, but I'm scared about it. And so she says, well, everybody going to that event's really great because they're going to that event. And she's a person who's young and doesn't apparently know shit. But she said I had some self-work to do because of my attitude about that, my concerns about that. And that's another weird thing. Like, when someone says you have self-work to do, it's an insult. It's a pseudo-spiritual fuckwad insult, and it's a way of not addressing the actual issue. The work that needs to be done is that people need to be more trustworthy. And they're only going to be trustworthy if they're forced to, essentially. If they understand that they're going to be punished socially if they're not an honest person, if they're not well behaved. And of course, what those things mean is really unknown. We don't agree. And so it's okay that we don't agree. We should notice that we don't agree, and that's all right. We can match up with people who are in agreement. And even things that are bad behaviors, we could match people up who don't think those are bad behaviors. Like, for example, I don't think playing amplified music is polite. I really don't. I think it's rude. It contaminates the audio channel. Other people who think that's okay to play, amplified music anytime you want with multiple sources of it, all conflicting with each other, with massive stacks of speakers run by people with an adolescent mentality of louder is better, they can all fucking spend time with each other. And that's okay. I have been to festivals where, there's music played 24/7. It's just how it is. It's freedom to do that. That's great for that environment. I don't go to that festival anymore. And I suspect there's a whole bunch of cases where what's okay or not okay with somebody is okay for them to do, but not for other people to do. Even burglars and murderers don't think it should be okay to steal or kill. They just think it's okay for them to do it. So there's a big disconnect there where people think, in fact, they seek out environments where they can be bad behaved, but they won't be punished for it. They can rip people off, they can lie to them, they can manipulate them, they can be evil people, but it's not a community that protects itself very well. And those communities tend to fall apart. Because like it or not, people are pretty bad. Some of them. And so we have to figure out what is it that we expect of people? What are our social agreements that we demand people follow? So that then we can have trust in each other that we have agreed to the same social contract. And as I mentioned, those can be different. We don't all have to have the same social contracts in different communities. That's totally fine. I don't want to be Amish. I don't want to be religious. I don't want to be in most communities that are strict. But I do want a very strict community about a few things. I want a strict community that has ways to respond to bad behavior. And I'm certainly not speaking as a person who's perfect or how do we figure this shit out? Like, how do we figure out how to trust people? I think reputation management is critical. And reputation management will require tracking people. That's messed up, isn't it? I mean, it gets into the concept of freedom. Like, you should be free to do whatever the fuck you want, except you shouldn't at all. And so, it's been for me a struggle because I am so freedom oriented, yet if we actually get people together, we don't want all of them to be free to do whatever the fuck they want. We don't want them to be free to assault other people in various ways. We don't want them to be free to set up government structures that oppress people. My dog barking at. Come on, honey. My other dog should go check that shit out. She's probably barking at a squirrel. Because squirrels are so very scary. And so, I've been talking with a few people online about this fundamental problem of trust. Because if you do make an organization that is good, that is profitable, that is prosperous and wonderful, you will be infiltrated. You will be attacked by people who want to take advantage of that. And so the only way to create a community that's good at all is to have it be completely private, secret. And of course, it's really hard to keep secrets, So how do you then collect the people who will keep that secret? And what happens when they're not totally happy with every goddamn thing and then they want to blow that secrecy? Do you need to have your community be able to move quickly? Which is one benefit of being nomadic, I suppose. But you also want to invest heavily into the land and create things to survive difficult times in the future. So that's not movable. How can you find people you can trust? And if you don't think this is a problem, if you think it's my fucking problem, it isn't. It's your fucking problem too. Because even if you find somebody you love and you trust and is all good, that ends up into a divorce situation that is absolutely horrible. And I mean, you've seen it over and over, haven't you? Probably. And I've stayed out of most of that, luckily. I've mostly made intimate partners very happy. And then I was involved with 2 people. They happen to be women, since I happen to be heterosexual. And I theoretically like women, although now they scare the ever-loving shit out of me. Because, you know, this whole believe women thing, like, is ridiculous. It's got to be the worst slogan I've ever heard of my whole life. It's an insult to women that they can't lie, because they're very, very good at it. And that's why that phrase wouldn't even just get laughed at immediately, laughed out of existence. I mean, no one's going to say believe men, you know, but for some reason, because women are such good liars, we accept that as a phrase. I don't know who we is. So yeah, only 2 of them out of many I've been involved with. One only threatened to lie. The other one actually did. This is 20 years ago. And she lost me a lot of friends. She damaged my reputation in a way that I can't protect myself. So there's no recourse for me. There's no way that I can defend myself. But she fucked my life up. And I don't know if she's happy about that or not. I don't really care. You know, hopefully she later realized that's an evil thing to do. And there's really no, I mean, it doesn't even matter if she said she was sorry. You know, the damage is done. The rumor she spread did propagate. And some people have told me about that's what they were told by her. And I'm sure that the vast majority of people who heard it didn't tell me that at all. And I don't want to make it a gender thing, because it probably isn't. But the fact that people trust women, that I used to trust women, is stupid. I would say don't trust women or men. And it's funny I have to add that, because it's obvious. Don't trust men. But it's like, women are cute. They're nice. They're theoretically good. They're made of sugar and spice. And they're not. They're just as fucking evil as men. In fact, they have more ability to be evil because they're not perceived as being evil. That's fucked up shit. But back to the general problem of trust. Because it is men too. How do you figure that shit out? Like, I'm stuck in this problem where I have an amazing space. I have a life where I live very remote from everything. How do I trust anyone? And what are the things that matter in determining trust? I don't know. So am I going to be alone for the next 20 years of my life before I die? Maybe. Sure seems like a good plan. It's better than any other I know of, but it's not real great. And really, what's the point of living? I mean, I'm a social creature. I used to enjoy people. But I enjoyed them in controlled relationships. I enjoyed them in, times when I invited them to a party at my house, or we went to an event, and it was short, and everybody was good, well behaved, yay, for the most part. I mean, is there a questionnaire I can ask people? Like, do you believe in this or that or this or that? And yeah, that would actually help some. And I do have some deal breakers that if someone is a certain way, they're fucking out. And I don't know though, because a survey, right, a questionnaire, isn't going to do the job. Because people lie a lot. And so one of the options I have is to set up a filtering community. And I think I'll make another video about that.